Poets can choose to use concrete diction to describe situations and qualities in an exact, specific, and tangible manner. They can also use abstract diction to describe situations and qualities in a general, rarefied, and theoretical manner. So, concrete language is language that describes things you can touch. So if I describe what a chair looks like, I'm using concrete language most likely. And remember, abstract language is language that discusses things in a theoretical or hypothetical way. Something that's abstract is something that cannot be touched. So you might look at your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife, and that person is concrete, and you can describe that person in concrete terms. You can tell what color their hair is, what their skin complexion is. But then you could also describe your love for them. And love, since it's not something that we can touch, not something that we can see, we need to use abstract language to describe love, right? According to Pickering and Hopper, as we read poetry, our first concern is with the meaning of individual words, but it soon becomes clear that meaning is largely determined by context. Indeed, words are tricky because each one has both a denotative and connotative meaning. The denotation of a word is its dictionary meaning. So a denotation is the meaning that you would find in the dictionary. It's usually neutral. It's not positive or not negative for most words, right? A word's connotation, however, refers to the emotional value it has or the feelings that have come to be associated with it. So let's consider the word snake. A dictionary might define the word as a limbless, scaly, elongate reptile, right? But if you call someone a snake, you don't mean that they are a limbless, scaly, elongate reptile, right? Because the word has also been associated with treachery, deceit, and malevolence. So treacherous, deceitful, malevolent are connotations of the word snake. Let's consider the words frugal and miserly. Both words basically mean not wasteful. However, they have completely different connotations. You might refer to a teenager who doesn't spend all of the money he earns from a part-time job on Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading cards so that he can save up for a car as frugal, right? That frugal or being frugal is a positive quality. On the other hand, you might call a curmudgeonly coworker who leaves less than a 10% tip at lunch, even though the service was excellent, miserly, right? Miserly is someone who sort of hangs on to money because they don't want to spend it. They don't want to be generous, right? So both of those people in those situations are doing the same thing. They're not spending money. But when we call someone frugal, it has a different connotation than miserly. We have different feelings around the word frugal than we do the word miserly. Let's now look at some pairs of words. So in the lesson below this video, there's a question that asks you to think about a pair of words, one from this list I'm about to share with you, and talk about the denotation of the words or the dictionary definition right? There should only be one because these words basically have the same denotations. The words in each pair have the same denotation. But then also think about how they have different connotations. Um, and then think about, why would you want to be described using one word but not the other? So let's look at these words, and then I'll talk about one pair, and then you can choose from the others to answer the question in the lesson. So trusting, gullible, firm, stubborn, reckless, adventurous, hypocritical, diplomatic, relaxed, flaky, assertive, pushy, or unique and weird. Let's think about hypocritical and diplomatic. So I'm going to choose this pair to talk about. So the words hypocritical and diplomatic both have a denotation that has to deal with feeling one way but outwardly saying something else. So you might be described as hypocritical if you have said something different than what you feel inside, right? Or you've made a statement that contradicts your beliefs. But you also might be called diplomatic if you've made a statement that contradicts your beliefs. So, same dictionary definition. Hypocritical, we tend to think about in our society as a negative term, right? You may be hypocritical if you say something that is in contrast to your beliefs in order to judge someone or to put someone down or to sort of feel like that you're better than somebody else, right? If you're diplomatic, however, that has a more positive connotation because you may be a person who is able to negotiate well. So what you might want to say is something that's hateful, but instead you say something that works well when people are trying to make a deal or trying to negotiate something, right? So diplomatic and hypocritical, basically the same dictionary meaning, but very different connotations. So now you choose one of the other pairs and do the same thing. I would much rather be called diplomatic than hypocritical, right? Um, because that has a much more positive connotation. A diplomatic person is able to help people come to some agreement, or help is able to help people settle arguments. A hypocritical person is seen as someone who is judgmental and dishonest, right? So you try or you complete the question below by choosing one of the other pairs of words and answering the questions.